All right.
You got that.
You know, I've been practicing it. It's a mouthful. It's made out of the Orlando Aces, the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and the Tampa Bay Brigade. Unfortunately, all of their players could not come because they were affected by Hurricane Milton, but we are getting ready for this first partner forward. We were speaking earlier during that last match. If you haven't seen it, it is on YouTube already. A lot of people messing up those pistols. You have to make sure that you show that hip extension at the top, that you stand up all the way. So it's an easy movement to mess up. So we're going to see how these teams fare against each other.
Absolutely. I'm locked in, Cassie. Let's go.
Once again, we're looking at the Atlanta Wild versus the Fort Orlando Super Team, made out of the Tampa Bay Brigade, the Orlando Aces, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Due to Hurricane Milton, the entirety of these teams could not make it. Flights canceled, you know, things happening. So they decided, in order to make this match count, we're in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Mr. Olympia Expo. They decided to form a super team, and this team is absolutely stacked. You have plenty of seasoned veterans, people who are key players to their teams, all playing on the same team versus the Atlanta Wild, which the Atlanta Wild have a high point differential right now, leading the league by almost 30 points. Unofficially, of course. So pretty safe to say that the Atlanta Wild are already going to the playoffs. This matchup between the Super Team and the Atlanta Wild is worth 1 point to whoever wins it towards the differential. Okay, so it doesn't matter by how many points you win, you just have to win.
And as you can see on the grid right now, there are 2 players for each team on the grid. 1 player must remain in the hash as one works. They cannot work at the same time together. You can see them switching in and out right there. If they do not stay in the hash, the reps do not count, and the teams can substitute at any moment.
Yeah, it looks like the Super Team have a slight lead on the Atlanta Wild. A slight fault there from Janine Nicole, missing her groove there, but that's all right. We have some seasoned players here, and Eric Cardona able to make up some serious time here. Here comes Rebecca Rouse from the Tampa Bay Brigade, and Taylor Sturgis, once again playing on that same Super Team. Here is Vilma Rosario. She actually just got in last night from Ocala. She wasn't able to come in due to the hurricane, but thankfully is here to play today. Here comes Griffin Raleigh from the Atlanta Wild. He actually played last year, one of the best players last year, as well as Amanda Fisher, who I believe won utility player of the year. Excuse me. Here comes Rebecca Rouse. They are about 1 element ahead of the Atlanta Wild here. This Super Team, though not having worked together on the same team before, is being absolutely dominant. It just shows the type of leadership from Coach Jamie Gold of the Fort Lauderdale Lions and Taylor Stallings of the Orlando Aces, working together to be able to lead this team to victory and coordinate everything that they need to do and able to be dominant here.
Now, one thing I will say, the weights get heavier, as we mentioned, as we go down the grid. So it's essential that you use your depth and strategy and put your players in the best position to win and perform.
And it looks like the Super Team are going to take this first partner forward.
Great start, great win. That's the way you want to start a match out. Pretty much the same way they started out yesterday, hot and heavy. We're going to see if the Atlanta Wild can keep up the pace.
Fort Orlando is doing a great job of working together and doing what they need to do. And of course, the Atlanta Wild did finish within the time cap, so they were able to kind of get that 1 point that they needed to. Of course, if you finish a race, you still get that 1 point, but if you win it, you get 2. So, so far, unofficially, the score is 2 for the Fort Orlando Super Team and 1 for the Atlanta Wild. Right now, I'm coming in with Justin Kotler. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your history with Grid?
Man, oh my gosh. It's very nostalgic. So I was one of the OGs, one of the original coaches. I coached the DC Brawlers back in 14, 15, and 16 with the National Pro Grid League and then just the Grid League. And we won championships in 2014 and 2015. We only lost one match in 3 years. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, we were pretty good.
That's amazing. So having seen Grid now, you were here yesterday as well, these past 2 days versus how it used to be in the NPGL. What are your thoughts on it, how the movements have progressed?
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff is just incredible. I'll be honest with you, it's been 8 years since I watched a Grid match live.
Wow.
2016 was our final season when we were in Utah and shot the season there. I just forgot how fast it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, but it's amazing. I mean, the athletes are really incredible, and the speed is amazing. And for me, I always loved coaching it because it was like a speed chess match. I always felt like, you know, aside from preparation, as a coach in the fitness space, I felt like Grid was really, as a coach, the place where you could have the most effect on in-game performance. And I had so much fun doing it. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
That's amazing. If there was one element that you could name in the Grid League that you've seen today that's just like absolutely like insane to watch, maybe a ringer point, what would it be? What stood out to you the most?
Well, it's just wild to see like the evolution of what everyone can do now as far as like stuff on the rings and the bar.
Yeah.
Because when we, you know, it was all being developed back in 2014, 15, and 16. I mean, when we started, there weren't butterfly ring muscle-ups, right? It was just regular muscle-ups. And
right.
So I got to see that evolution, but just to be able to see the stuff that almost everybody can do it now, you know? So it's just wild to watch the evolution of what the athletes can do. Yeah, it's exciting. And it's still cool to see some of the athletes that I coached. You know, I signed Taylor Stallings, right? She was a DC brawler, and so I got to coach Taylor, and she was the MVP of the league back then, and obviously, you know, I mean, as she's a coach player now and still crushing it, so, you know, and I love her. I mean, she's one of my favorite people in the world, so it's exciting to come and see, you know, some of the athletes still competing, and, you know, I love to see the fact that it's still thriving.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I'm glad that you were able to come out here. Hopefully one day maybe we could even get your daughter to play Grid. I saw her doing those handstands. She was crushing it. But thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we will be right back.
Thanks.
Alrighty, friends, we're getting ready for that mirror race. All right, this mirror is going to be a hang clean mirror. You're gonna do 10 in each quadrant. The weight for the women is going to be 140 pounds. The weight for the men, 215. It's called a mirror because the men and women are facing each other on the grid. Now, they're using human racks to move it from quadrant to quadrant. If you drop that bar, the entire team has to go back to the start line and restart the movement, which is critical and could cost you some serious time and even the point.
Absolutely. We've seen it already in matches before. Oh, they're getting ready to take off now.
All right, we have that Super Team versus the Atlanta Wild. Once again, I'm calling them the Super Team because it is a team made up out of 3, right? So we have Taylor Stallings and Ryan DeMatti, who historically play with each other in the mirror for the Orlando Aces. Now we have Alexis Dempsey of the Fort Lauderdale Lions with Julio Delgado on the right side of your screen. That is the Atlanta Wild, Amanda Fisher with Tom Soroka.
Now, I will say transitions from quadrant to quadrant is very important as we see the Super Team try to manage it as well, because any little misstep can result in that barbell getting dropped and them having to run back to the start position. So very specific on the details. You have to pay attention.
Definitely. Thank you for mentioning that, Byron, because I just want to point out just how great the communication is from the Super Team, considering how much these people don't really play together that much. Slight lead from the Atlanta Wild here. Hands up for the Wild. Hands up for the Super Team. Who will finish first?
Take it?
And the Atlanta Wild are going to take that mirror.
ATL shouted in the building. Talk to me nice.
All right, it looks like the super team will be getting credit for that. So that is unofficially an even score right now. 3 for the Atlanta Wild, 3 for the super team. It's pretty evenly matched. I don't know, these are two very strong teams, Byram.
Hey, look at Taylor Stallings right now. She is hot. She is more than hot. She is livid. She knew that her team could have took that match. But hey, the Atlanta Wild are a formidable opponent. Listen, this is how it's been at Grid the last couple of days. A team can seem like they have the advantage, but you just never know. It's all about grit and heart.
Absolutely, and it's you know, once again, we have Taylor Stallings and Jamie Gold, who both do not play on the same team. So no doubt about it, there's some heat coming off of both of these.
Absolutely. So we're going to see how they make it up in the next round. Listen, this is a team, a super team in the highest level, so they don't want to lose any points out there. Of course, you're going to get some points if you complete the match, but they want to stay on top, as any super team would.
Of course. We'll be right back. Let's look forward to that next race.
The Ringer Point race is the only race in the match that is chosen by the teams. There are 2 Ringer Point races in every match, one picked by each team from a set list of races determined prior to the season. Each Ringer Point race generally features one player, and there is a male and female version of some races depending on the race requirements. The head coach decides whether a male or female will perform the race based on what they feel is the best choice from their roster. There is a catch. A player may only be chosen once for a Ringer Point in a given season. This resets in the playoffs. This short and intense race allows teams to influence their opponent's performance both in-match and season-wide. Remember, choose your race wisely in the Ringer Point race.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for some ringer points. The first one is a home ringer point chosen by the Atlanta Wild. It's going to be those burpee to ring touches that we saw, and we actually had to redo earlier in that earlier match with the Sharks and the Palms. So that one is going to be a burpee to the ring. For the Atlanta Wild, it's going to be Patrick Long, and for the super team, it's going to be Taylor Sturgis of the Orlando Aces, playing on that super team of the 3 teams. Julio in the back hyping him up. All right, these are 2 pretty tall guys. I want to say they're similar in height. Patrick Long with a little bit more grit experience. He's done this season after season with the Atlanta Wild. So it's going to be exciting to see how they pull it out. I know they both have the hops. They both have the height. It's once again, just as we saw earlier, just about controlling the swing of that ring. You don't want to hit it too hard and make it lose position, because then you're not really sure where it is. You have to jump straight into the air to catch that sort of height. So
Yep, it's the body weight specialist, and they're getting ready to take it to the grid right now.
don't blink, friends. This is the ringer point against Taylor Sturgis and Patrick Long. Right now, it's rep for rep. Oh, no, I lied.
Oh, he didn't touch it.
Oh, now it's rep for rep. 2 fingers in the air for both gentlemen. 1 rep remaining.
Here we go. Wait, what happened?
He thought
no!
it was a touch.
No!
Point touch.
Oh my
Taylor
gosh!
Sturgis, Orlando Aces.
Oh my gosh!
What an upset.
Wow, pay attention to details, folks. We've been talking about it, Cassie. It's all about knowing, don't lose your head out here. Don't lose your head out here in the grid. You got to pay attention. It's not just about the reps. Know the rules of the game. Stay within yourself. And what a huge snafu by the Atlanta Wild.
What an upset. Patrick Long did think it was a 4-point touch back to the start line. Very upsetting. We saw something similar happen yesterday with Alex Smith, but thankfully he was able to keep that lead and still finish the ringer point. But wow.
Yeah, heartbreaking right there, especially when he probably had a chance to win that match right there. They were neck and neck, and hey, one false step, it'll take you out of here. So, man, they got to bring it back together, Atlanta Wild.
Definitely. They started they started that sprint at the exact same time. One of them just went in the wrong direction.
Man, isn't that? Wait.
So close, heartbreaking, but I'm sure they'll come back. You know, the Atlanta Wild is not a team of, you know, weak players. They came here to eat. They're hungry.
Yeah, they are. Got to finish your breakfast, though.
Got to finish your breakfast. We're starting off that second ringer. It's going to be burpees over bar. This time for the Wild, it's going to be Lexi Wolford versus Janine Nicole of the Orlando Aces, once again playing for that super team of 3 teams. All right, Lexi Wolford, we don't see her get too much playing time. She's a very special specialist, you know, in every sense of the word. She doesn't do too much of the general movements and other things, such as the Triad or Jack and Jill, but we definitely see her hit some ringer points and do really well on them. Here's Janine Nicole from the Orlando Aces, very skilled. I believe last season was her rookie season, and she absolutely crushed it. So she has her game face ready. She's looking like she's ready to go.
Oh, yeah, you can see them locked in. Look at her face right there. She's locked in, and this is their speciality whenever you have an athlete out for the ringer. So let's lock in and see how they bring it
to the grid.
grid.
Look at Lexi's face, too.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like that mug.
She's not playing around.
Nope. Once again, this is going to be burpees over bar. Both of your feet have to spread that line that the barbell is sitting across. You got to make sure that you hit those standards. Every second counts. They're going to be flinging themselves over the bar. This is not your traditional burpee. This is performance. Watch this. Don't blink. Lexi Wolford for the Atlanta Wild versus Janine Nicole. Janine over the bar first. Woo. Very quick speed from both these ladies. Janine Nicole maybe just 1 rep ahead. Chief Judge with his hand in the air. 3 reps remaining for the super team. 4 remaining for the Wild, and Janine Nicole is going to take it home for the super team.
Easy
All right,
money.
1 rep remaining, and she's going to sprint to the finish line. Now, remember the rules for the ringer points, friends. All right, if you don't finish within 20% of the winning team, then you do not receive credit for that race. On that last one that we just saw with Patrick Long, they lost all the points on that ringer, so the Wild received 0 points while the super team received 2. And right now, it looks like they're going to make sure the timing on their stopwatches is correct to make sure to see if the Wild get any points or any credit for that race at all.
Yes, every point counts on the grid. So even though you may see a team win a particular match, that doesn't mean the other team is out of it. You got to finish at that point. Try to beat that time so you can at least get something out of it, so you won't just be working your body and then just be burnt out going into the next match.
100%. That was very exciting. Dominant showing from the super team on both of those ringers. Let's go ahead and look forward to that next race.
The ladder consists of 2 rows of 4 stations of a strength-based element, 1 row for males and 1 row for females. The weight increases as you move down the grid. Teams send out 1 player at a time, alternating male and female, to perform the designated lift for the match format. Each successful lift has a point value that is added to the team's ladder score. The point value is equal to the quadrant the barbell is sitting in. Players are allowed 1 lift attempt per quadrant and may skip any quadrant they choose, but are never allowed to backtrack once a barbell is passed. The team with the highest total point value at the end of the 4-minute time cap wins. This race is one of the most strategic and coach-reliant of all of the races. As a good game plan and in-the-moment decision-making, to manage time is everything. Remember, lift heavier and score higher in the ladder race.
Peachy athletic shorts, guys. Just saying. Looking peachy.
And the peaches are great. They're really stretchy. They're soft.
I like the fit. I like the fabric. It makes me just feel more comfortable while I'm working out. I don't have to worry about things coming out.
Love training in these shorts. Love competing in the shorts. They stay put. Got a really nice thick waistband.
They definitely pass the squat test and the booty test. They're really comfortable. Like I could wear them out and I could wear them on the floor.
Go get yourself some.
I wish I thought of that. I don't have to twist and wrap and twist and wrap and twist and wrap a million times. I definitely have noticed that hair strong has worked.
Take care of my finances? I got plenty of time for that.
I didn't have plenty of time.
Procrastinating on your finances has a way of stacking up. A membership with Facet is a quick and easy first step to get your finances in order.
I'll get to that tomorrow.
Now is the time to take action. Go to Facet.com to get started on your financial wellness journey today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for this ladder. All right, they're going to be going down the quadrants. As you go down, it's going to be getting heavier and heavier. What are the weights starting at, Byram?
All right, with the men's weight, we're at 250 pounds at the first quadrant, 275, 300, and ending at 325. For the women's weight, it starts at 165 pounds at the first quadrant, 180 to 195, and ending at 210 pounds. So it's some heavy weight going up. It's going to be a whole lot of clanging and banging, and I'm excited to see it go down.
That's right. As we said earlier in that last match, this is one of our heaviest ladders because it's just that one clean. So you really want to send out your strongest people. We also saw some people mess up the ladder that usually are really easy to clear it. So just that fatigue, going as fast as you can, you really have to make sure that you're hitting everything as best you can.
Yes, absolutely. Depth is key. As we've been speaking about, these teams have a lot of athletes on their roster. So you leverage your depth, you put your strength specialists in the best position to win. And hey, you're going to see some of them skip that first couple quadrants because they want these big points at the big weights.
Absolutely. Unofficially, the score right now is 7 to the Super Team and 3 for the Atlanta Wild because unfortunately they did not receive credit for those last two races. They did not finish within 20% of the other team for that ringer point race. And of course, that is a rule that is very specific only to the ringer point. Otherwise, you just have to finish within the time cap to make sure that your team receives that 1 point of credit.
Yeah, I think the ladder is the epitome of what Grid League is all about. You see some of the strongest athletes. Listen, cleaning 325 pounds, are you kidding me? This is serious business. And for the ladies, if you're looking at 210 pounds, come on now. That's a whole person.
And it's not only cleaning 210 pounds, it's cleaning the bars on the way and going as quickly as you can. So everything matters, all the timing. You have to really make sure that you're not fatiguing yourself, going too fast and overwhelming yourself. So it's definitely a lot of strategy involved. Here we go. We're starting off with Tom Soroka for the Atlanta Wild and 2023 Strength Specialist of the Year, Ryan DeMatti for the Orlando Aces, of course, playing for the Super Team today. That Super Team, of course, being from the teams of Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and Tampa Bay. Okay, that's an easy ladder clear for both of these gentlemen here. Great job, Tom Soroka, on his newfound mobility, as you spoke to him about yesterday.
Absolutely. It's good to see big men get their mobility back. I know how it is. Our hip flexors and our lower backs and our knees. You know how it goes as we age, our big guys. So shout out to him for evolving.
What was it that you kept on saying during the last match? Protect your cartilage?
Oh, yeah, protect your cartilage, baby. Hey.
Hey, man, you gotta.
Yep.
Here comes Taylor Sturgis of the Orlando Aces playing on that Super Team. Griffin Raleigh for the Atlanta Wild. Usually pretty comfortable to clear that ladder. Griffin Raleigh cleans over 400 pounds, I believe. Here comes that 325, easy leg butter. Taylor Sturgis on that fourth bar. Can he do it? Ooh!
Wow.
Very good grind from Taylor Sturgis on that one.
Listen, I'm just enjoying, I'm just watching the action right now, Cassie. I'm getting a little caught up because, like I said, this is what it's all about. You're seeing these powerful men and women. Look at that. Wow. Great job.
I got the chance to speak to Sydney Wilson yesterday before her own ladder. She just hit that fourth bar like it was nothing. Rebecca Rouse, who has an Olympic weightlifting background as well. Always fun to watch do anything just because of how pretty and technical it is. And we're here once again. We don't know who's going to win the ladder until the end, whether you tabulate the scores. I'm sure if I wanted to sit here and count even each and every point, I totally could. The thing is, every single bar in every single quadrant is worth something different. For example, that's Dan Haberman that we're looking at in quadrant 3. That is worth 3 points. He's going over to the bar in quadrant 4. That is worth 4 points. So whatever number quadrant your bar is in is how many points it's worth, and they're going to add that at the end to see which team wins.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, Cassie, but as you can see, these two teams are neck and neck pretty much as far as points. So points are extremely important. You're going to see some of the big dogs, whether it be female or male, going for these heavyweight to get all those points.
That's right, Byram. I haven't seen many faults, if any, here right now. This is Patrick Long and Jasmine Simpson. Jasmine Simpson, this being her rookie year, absolutely dominant. Everybody pretty much going for that fourth bar. Super Team opting to start skipping that first bar and try to get as many people in because there is a time cap. There's about 1 minute, 20 seconds left on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of clean money going on out there, Cassie. Like, not too many faults, as you mentioned. Kind of quiet, you know, they're just trying to they're going about their reps, stacking as much. Oh, it looks like they're ready.
Grind from Julio Delgado.
Yeah, there you go. That was a great lift there.
Yeah, this is Jimmy McBride over here for the Atlanta Wild. They actually just picked her up here in Vegas. I don't think there was any really connection to her previous to this match. Very good grind on that third bar.
That up.
But really great find in her. She did great on the back handsprings yesterday, considering she hasn't really seen much of grid before. David McKellar, another Olympic weightlifter on that second bar, just bounces it off his shoulder. Just watch it on your right here.
Look at that.
Boom.
Easy work.
Killing it.
Yep.
Here is Alex Velez. He just came in, flew in from Orlando to make it here last night. Janine Nicole coming out for the Super Team. 25 seconds left on the clock. And of course, you don't want to just win the ladder. You want to be able to win by over 10 points, because if you win by over 10 points, the other team does not receive any credit.
Wow, why is that, Cassie? That's interesting.
Because it's dominant.
Hey.
You know, if you win by more than 10 points.
You got to pass the sticks like back in the day?
Absolutely. That is the end of the time cap. Great showing from both these teams. Once again, not many, if any, faults here for this ladder. Can't wait to see them tabulate up that score, see what's going on here. But right now, the Super Team is ahead by 4 points. Atlanta Wild trailing behind. But once again, the stakes for this match are not as high as they were for the previous match of the Wild, right? So this match, at the end of it, will only be worth 1 point towards the point differential for whoever wins. Of course, the Super Team will be dividing it into 3, right? Not dividing the points, but getting 3 points for each team who's competing, which are the 3 teams. And then the Atlanta Wild, if they win, would get 1 point. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take it over to my friend Byram Allen, sitting with Coach Jamie Gold on the grid.
All right, folks, we are here with Jamie Gold of the newly formed Super Team here at Grid. And I just want to ask you, now you have 2 team captains here. You have, who is there with you? It's Taylor. So as one of the co-captains, how you feel about your team's performance so far?
I think they're doing a great job. They've done a really good job of coming together, communicating with each other, and really just being a team.
Now, how are you thinking about home? Because I know you have a lot of teammates in Florida. That's why you formed the Super Team. Do you have any family back there? How is your emotions? How are you feeling?
You know, I'm very fortunate to know that all of my team is good, they're safe, and nothing catastrophic happened. You know, we're obviously all mourning anything that bad that happened to anybody, and I'm really proud of all the people that came today and came this weekend to just support this sport.
Now, I see you have your board there. I've been watching you. You're jotting. You're very serious. You're locked in. Why do you keep coming back to Grid League? Why do you take it so serious?
Listen, we love to play. We want to win. I keep notes. I track our scores. I see where people are doing well. It helps me to keep myself organized and a little more calm. I've been known to throw some clipboards, so you know this one's intact for the moment. But yeah, it's a fun sport. I mean, I played 10 years ago in the pro leagues. I played a little bit for the Lions, but I like coaching.
Amazing job. Thank you, Jamie. You're the best. All right, we'll be right back, folks.
Element really helps me keep the intensity going.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level body weight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. One male and one female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only one player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper-specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
Welcome back, friends. We just got those ladder results. So it looks like it's going to be 86 points for the Atlanta Wild and 80 points for the Super Team. The Atlanta Wild did take that by 6 points, but since it was only 6 points, the Super Team will receive that 1 point credit for that race.
Yeah, the Atlanta Wild are looking like a strong playoff candidate, I would say, performing well against this Super Team. As we've always mentioned, yes, this is a Super Team out of necessity, but doesn't mean that they're a Super Team based off talent. So, hey, both teams are performing well, and let's get on to the next match.
Absolutely. We're going into those kettlebell overhead squat. This is going to be David McKellar from the Atlanta Wild versus Austin Lavallee from the Super Team, actually playing for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, representing her team for that mixed bag. All right. This is 2 ringer points in a row special that we have for you live from Las Vegas, Mr. Olympia. David McKellar, Atlanta Wild, Austin Lavallee, Fort Lauderdale Lions playing for the Super Team today. Oh man, look at those straight elbows from both people. Austin Lavallee is a little bit shorter here. Really easy for her to get all the way down. David McKellar, very skilled Olympic weightlifter, great mobility. Oh my goodness, David McKellar absolutely crushed that.
Absolutely, that was surprising there. A little bit of a surprise there. Great job getting down to that bucket with those 2 kettlebells.
Wow, really great showing for David McKellar there. Austin Lavallee doing great as well. Not really sure what the faults were for that specific instance here, if they're going to try to recall that. But David McKellar showing amazing mobility and control overhead.
It looks like the Super Team, the only issue they're having right now is technical, right? It's not so much performance, so it's little details that they have to pay attention to so that they can perform at the highest level. So I'm sure they're going to try to clean that up so they can get these points, keep stacking points.
Absolutely. We're going into that second ringer this time. This is going to be 20 handstand push-ups followed by 20 chest to bars. For the Atlanta Wild, we've seen her earlier. We're looking at Lexi Wolfert once again coming out for the Wild versus Paul Moran of the Fort Lauderdale Lions, of course, playing for that Super Team.
Yeah, 20 handstand push-ups. A handstand by itself is tough. You already know. So you're doing 20 in a row, 4 times to get the points. Oh yeah, we're going to see some high-level handstands going on out here today.
Not only are you doing like the handstand push-ups, but you're immediately going into a swinging motion. So it's a lot of dizziness. Oh man, I just came out from upside down. Where am I? Kind of stuff there. So it's going to be really fun to see how they pull it out. Paul Moran, of course, being a veteran player, playing for many years for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Lexi Wolfert was a rookie last year. This is her second season. Doesn't get the most playing time, but they seem pretty confident in her. Last time I spoke to her last season, she was pretty confident in her handstand push-up abilities, so excited to see it.
Whenever you send a player out for a ringer, usually that's their speciality. Right. That's what they excel in. So even though she hasn't performed in different elements on the grid, this is her thing. So we're going to see if she can take the win.
100%, very well said. Whoever you send out for your ringer better be your ringer. Right? That's why they call it that.
Absolutely. And they're one of the most exciting races as well. So everybody at home, stay tuned, lock in, because this is going to be quick, fun, and fast.
I just got word from the head referees on why Austin Lavallee was being faulted for those reps for the Super Team. They were for her hips not opening. She was not opening up her hips all the way, which is to establish that she is standing up all the way. That's something that we do to make sure that players are not only completing the reps, but being safe. Yes. You know, you don't want to remain in a bad position. You want to make sure you're locking out those hips to really show that control. And David McKellar was just able to show it better than Austin Lavallee was here today.
Grid is also all about technique and form. So yes, they want to perform at the highest level physically, but there are rules to abide by, and these refs are paying attention. So hey, you got to know what you're doing out there.
Definitely. Once again, this is going to be 20 handstand push-ups followed by 20 chest to bars. Paul Moran versus Lexi Wolfert. Okay, Paul Moran, I've been impressed with Paul Moran this season. He's been able to pick it up. He's also done some coaching for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Of course, he's playing for the super team right now, but his gymnastics only gets better and better. During that last ringer point during the Valor matches, he had actually learned how to backflip the week before, which is crazy to think about.
Goodness gracious. Well, yeah, the grid is all about player coaches. I love that you have players that can lead their team but also perform at the highest level, elite level. So I love that about grid, and we're about to see these two players get it on at Grid League.
Oh yeah, very well said. Once again, this is Lexi Wolfert versus Paul Moran here, going to complete 20 handstand push-ups and 20 chest to bars. Okay, this is going to be our last ringer point of this matchup. The super team showing pretty dominant here for all of those except for that last one, which was taken by David McKellar. So who knows, maybe it'll be double super team, double wild ringer wins.
Yep, absolutely. Let's lock in. Here we go, folks.
All right, Paul Moran, Lexi Wolfert, 20 handstand push-ups. Both of these people, pretty short arms. Of course, they have a certain distance that they're able to go for their hands in order to make those elbows lock out, but not too far. It has to be within the things, as you see here from Chief Referee, Brandon for Lexi Wolfert, put her hands a little bit closer. Paul Moran, to the bar. Lexi Wolfert just fell off the bar. That looks like that hurt. She's going to try to come back up and finish as best as she can, but it looks like Paul Moran is almost 10 reps in. She looks like she's in pain. She's probably not going to finish this ringer point in time, so it looks like she's not even going to try. Paul Moran sprinting to the finish line.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That
is very unfortunate. I hope that she's okay. Not sure what she hurt there, but it looked like a tough fall from the ring. I'm sure it's also very scary.
Yeah, she had to go to the back. Oh, sorry, Cassie. She had to go to the back just now. You guys can't see it, but yeah, she's going to feel that for a couple days after that. We hope she's okay, man. But, we want everybody to be safe on the grid.
Definitely, and I'm very thankful that we have medical personnel on standby, ready to help anybody with what they may need. Thoughts go out to her. Hope she's okay. The super team did take that win with Paul Moran. It looked like it was his to begin with before she fell off the bar. So right now, unofficially, the super team is going to take 2 points for that one, while the Wild take 0 points since she did not finish. And we're going to go ahead and be right back.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level bodyweight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only 1 player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper-specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
Watching grid in person is a totally different experience. We get the comment all the time that it's the best sporting experience they've ever been to. So a lot of different people come to watch grid, and a lot of people enjoy grid. I've used a lot of different types of ticketing platforms. People who come to our website to purchase tickets don't have to use a different link. They aren't taken off of our website. It all feels very seamless, and we hardly ever have lines because it's just a quick pull the ticket up on your phone. Our staff can scan it. It saves all the data that we need, and it's a really quick and easy check-in process, which was really, really important to us. We've been using Ticket Tailor for at least 5 years, and I don't think we're ever going to switch.
I don't think I'd be as healthy as I am and ready in terms of like season or during season without the team. Especially because there's a lot of high skill movements in grid, so they help keep my body healthy, they help me recover faster, especially when I have like little aches and pains or I get tight. And it's just been super, super helpful, whether it's everyday life or when I'm in season.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for that Jack and Jill race. Byron, why don't you tell the people what they can expect?
All right, we have 50 toe to bar. 50 toe to bar. We have 30 muscle up rings, and we also have 5 back up rises. So body weight specialists come out to play. Hey, we're gonna have a little fun out here in the Jack and Jill.
Absolutely. Of course, Jack and Jill is 1 male, 1 female on the grid at a time, and it's historically body weight movements, all right? So there's no type of dumbbell or barbell, anything, no weights involved, just body weight.
Yeah, this is my time. This is what I love. I'm a body weight guy myself, so I love seeing all the athletes get up and over that bar. It gets me excited, and hey, this is a specialist type of deal. So these athletes that do this is what they do. This is their specialty, so let's enjoy it, folks.
Yeah, that's Vilma Rosario here for the Atlanta Wild. Glad she was able to make it in today. Stay safe from that storm. Once again, we have that super team over here made up of the Aces, the Lions, and the Brigade because unfortunately their team was split up due to not being able to make it all the way here to Las Vegas, Nevada for the Mr. Olympia Expo. So in order to make this race count, since they came all this way, they wanted to make sure that they got credit for it. They created a super team. The stakes for this match is whoever wins gets 1 point towards the point differential. Of course, the point differential does help you in making it to the playoffs. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're one of those top 4 teams with the top 4 points. That way you can make it to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for the season finale.
Absolutely, Cassie. And I'm going to keep it a beam. I like seeing all these jerseys together. They have their different teams all together. Look at that. You can see it on the screen right now. It almost reminds me of like an all-star type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Has Grid ever had an all-star games or all-star matches?
Oh, we sure have at the end of the season, but I can't say that it's been as stacked as this team is right now. It looks like they almost grabbed every single specialist they could find and they put him onto one team. It's absolutely amazing to see. Not only that, not only the talent that's on the team, but the way that they work together, like if they've been playing together for years, is absolutely insane. Oh, and we got Coach Jamie Gold coming with a bonus flag, but unfortunately, there is less than a minute off the clock, so she cannot use the bonus flag.
Explain that, Cassie. So it has to be at least a minute before a minute?
Yes, it has to be before 1 minute. The referees are called to the floor that you start giving that bonus flag. Coach Jamie Gold is not happy about that, but here we go. We're starting that Jack and Jill Atlanta Wild versus the Super Team. 10 seconds on the clock. I can't wait to see all these powerhouse people work together on that Super Team for this, and of course, the very structured Wild team. This is Alex Velez and Janine Nicole of the Orlando Aces versus Vilma Rosario and Griffin Roll. Of course, only one person can be completing movements at a time, so it looks like they're waterfalling movements here. Waterfalling just means one is going at a time. If they were to misgroove and both hit their toes to the bar at the same time, it would not count because only one person could be completing at a time.
Yes, and it has to be your toes, it can't be your ankles, and it can't be your shins. The refs are paying close attention. If you do not get your toes on that bar, the reps will not count.
That's right. Griffin Raleigh had a little bit of trouble with that to begin with, but those are really clean reps coming off of him for such a big guy. Here comes Alex Velez coming off. Eric Cardona just strolling in with Paul Leyes doing those ring muscle ups, okay? Absolutely crushing it. There's a total of 30. Eric Cardona and Paul Leyes are both able to pretty much go unbroken for over 15 reps each. So really dominant bodyweight specialist here. Here's Carrie Billington for the Atlanta Wild on the other side with RJ Hibbard lying in wait. It looks like he's just waiting to be able to do those back up rises. Still doing those muscle ups, and you could tell because they're coming from the forward plane, right? So as long as they're swinging forward, that is a muscle up. When you start to see them swing backwards, that's when you get into the back up rises.
Absolutely. We saw that in the pre-meeting yesterday with the refs. They were talking about you got to have the right form at the top of the ring muscle up. You can't be leaning back or it will not count. So you can see them paying close attention to that there.
Yep. One hand up in the air. Eric Cardona helping Paul Leyes get up there. 4 reps remaining, for the muscle ups on Paul Leyes. Here comes Julio Delgado ready to do those back up rises, already swinging from the rings. And there you go. You can see how he moves behind the ring. That's the difference between a back up rise and a muscle up. His hips stay behind the rings, and that's how we can tell. You got to make sure those shoulders are over the wrist, and they are going to stroll into the finish line holding hands. I love it.
that. I love it. Hey, just like a couple just having, what can you say?
I love the teamwork. I love the camaraderie. Julio Delgado looks happy to be competing with Paul Leas. Once again, the Orlando Aces and the Fort Lauderdale Lions for the past 2 seasons have been going head-to-head. So it's cool to see them play against each other, especially when it's been so close in past seasons. RJ Hibbard, of course, still working for the Atlanta Wild. Only 2 reps remaining for those back uprises. Paul Moran on the other side clapping for him. I love the teamwork. Grid is a community. Everybody trying to make sure everybody finishes. Keep it anybody's race. Ooh, little fault there from RJ Hibbard. There's 12 seconds left on the clock. He has to try to finish in 8. Last swing. Oh,
will he get it?
Oh, he's not going to be able to muscle it in time. 2-1, and that is the end of the time cap. Unfortunately, the Atlanta Wild will not be receiving any points for this Jack and Jill race.
And that's what you don't want. If you can avoid it, you want to get all your reps in time before the time runs out. Otherwise, you're just burning your body out. We got a lot more matches to go, so we're going to see how the Aces can clean that up a little bit more. And sometimes you just got to move on. You didn't get it that time. Let's get it in the next one.
Absolutely. Great showing from the Super Team. The Wild as well, great effort trying to finish there. Unofficially, that score would be 12-7. The Super Team leading by 5 points.
And I like how the Super Team was rooting on the Atlanta Wild just there. I don't know if the chat could see it back home, but they were like, this is a family. We want everybody to succeed. Everybody's putting in the hard work out here. We know what it takes. They know what it takes. So, yeah, we want to finish strong. Get these points. As we can see now, the Super Team is up by 3 points, so the Wild are not far behind, and we can see if they catch up.
100%. Let's go ahead and look forward to that next race.
The Triad is the only race in which there is a male and a female version performed separately. It consists of 5 elements, each with 3 stations that must be completed individually. 3 players can be on the grid at any given time. All players can perform at any station and in any order. But all of the designated reps must be performed at each station. All 3 stations of each element must be complete before the team can move on to the next element. The Triad is all about player conditioning and managing fatigue across the team. The best strategy ensures players have enough left in the tank for the last element and has backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. Remember, try to catch your breath in the Triad race.
When I turned 23 years old, I came to the United States and I kept training CrossFit and doing muscle ups and stuff, but just like for CrossFit until they hit me up on Instagram and invite me to join the Miami Freaks. So I feel like that day kind of like changed my life for real. Like everything changed from that moment. First, it was like the first time someone was like, "Hey, I believe in you. Like I feel you could like do really good here." And it's crazy because those people didn't even know me, and I didn't even know myself that much. But the next season, our coach Storm, on a team meeting, was like, "If anyone could learn the butterfly muscle ups for this season, like it would be a game changer." And it's not that he said Paula, but I kind of felt like it was like directed to me, and I would like practice almost every single day, just recording myself and trying to get something and watching the video and watching the other on YouTube and doing like screen records and put it in a slow motion and kind of like studying the motion, so not only my body, my mind could understand what it was about. But of course I didn't get it on the first time or second, but it was one day that I went to sleep and I closed my eyes and that was the night I could picture myself doing it. Like I was able to see it on my mind. I pictured myself doing the movement, and I woke up the next morning, I grabbed my grips, went to the Zoom and to the gym, and I hung on the rings and I just did it. And it was really, really exciting.
right, folks, welcome back to day 2 of Grid League at the 60th Mr. Olympia. We're getting ready for the female women's triad. So let's go over the actual factuals. We're going to start off with a 30-pound, 7 30-pound, what is it,
dumbbell burpee clusters.
Yes, there it is. I can't read, Cassie. Take it from me.
Then we got 20 box jump overs at 24 inches, followed by 6-inch pistol stick jump overs, rope climbs to 12 feet, and finally cleans at 115 pounds.
There we go. My tongue got tied. Sorry about that.
Of course, no, you're totally fine. Once again, I want to give a quick shout out to Elite 7 Sports Medicine for supporting Lexi Wolford during her fall during that ringer point race. She is okay. They don't think that she's broken, but they're supporting her through the rest of this match, taping up her wrist. It looks like she's going to be able to stay and watch the rest of her teammates compete here. We're getting ready for that female triad here. Atlanta Wild versus the Super Team, of course, made out of the Orlando team, Fort Lauderdale team, and the Tampa Bay Brigade team. Female versus female, doing everything under the sun. Let's see it. All right, Taylor Stallings, Mega Medeiros, and Paul Leyes all out for the Super Team. 2 aces and a lion, followed by Sydney Wilson, Vilma Rosario, and Amanda Fisher for the Atlanta Wild over here on your right. Looks like every team is about rep for rep here.
Absolutely, and we want to keep in mind too, Cassie, that the Super Team threw out their bonus flag. So they're ahead right now, 12-7. If they do win this match, they're going to be in a dominant position. So look out for the Super Team. Let's see if they can finish strong.
100%. Thank you for mentioning that, Byram. Everybody is here doing those box jump overs. That's 24 inches. Once again, we got to keep in mind how tall these ladies are. These boxes basically start at their hip. So this is a very high distance for a lot of them. It's a lot of fatigue because once they finish this, they're going into the rope climbs, which is a lot of arms, but then they're going to be doing a bunch of heavy cleans at the end.
I think these are the type of athletes that you would call utility players. You got a little body weight in there.
Yes,
you got a
there
little
you go, Byram.
Oh,
okay.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to lock in here.
He knows his stuff.
Trying to.
And we also have a lot of substitutions. There can only be 5 active players at a time, and of course, only 3 players on the grid at any given moment. Once again, we have 2 aces and a lion over here for the Super Team. Super Team first one to that rope clean. Super Team being very dominant in this matchup here, leading the Wild by almost 5 points. Good thing this is one of those matches that only count for 1 point for whoever wins towards that point differential, but every point counts when it matters to going to the playoffs. Everybody's fighting for that spot, and of course that $20,000 check that comes out of that championship match at the end of the season.
Now I'm looking at how smooth each team performs out here on the grid. It looks like the Super Team has it a little bit more cleaner out there on the grid. The Wild are trying to catch up right now, and they're already at those 15 cleans at 115 pounds. So they're going to try to finish strong out there.
Yes, very good team with very good transitions. The Wild are doing great as well, just slightly behind here. A little fault from Yana Babbitt not getting her elbows through for that movement. You got to make sure that you get your elbows all the way through at the top with your knees locked out as well. Hands up in the air for the Super Team. Hands up in the air for the Atlanta Wild. Having some trouble going touch and go here. Mega Medeiros making up some slack from Austin Lavalley. Very close here. And it looks like the Wild are going to take it away from the Super Team.
We told you at home that Atlanta Wild team is a formidable opponent. Do not sleep on them. This Super Team got some work cut out for them today.
Even though the Super Team had a good lead there, it looks like their lack of ability to go touch and go there at the end is what cost them. The Wild just kind of threw it all on the line, so to speak. Basically gave it everything they got, and it paid off for them to take home that win for that one.
I got to tell you, Cassie, the first 2 matches, including the first one in the beginning with the Sharks and the Palms, these are all playoff type teams, even championship caliber, some of them. I know we might not have the Super Team at the end of the season, but just to see them perform all together is something to see.
100%. Very well said. This is I'm excited.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are all excited. I'm having a great time just watching this happen at the Mr. Olympia Expo, the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, absolutely. 60th anniversary of Mr. Olympia. And listen, we might not see something like this Super Team again, so enjoy it while you see it, unless it's an all-star match or something like that. So that's why we're so caught up, folks. We're seeing new stuff here.
Yeah, 100%. So now we're getting ready for that male triad. We're getting into it. Let's go ahead and take a look at that fourth camera really quick so we can take a look at what's happening on the grid. Basically, what's going to happen is they're going to redo the weights, right? So it's going to be the same exact movements that have already been happening, except it's going to be heavier weight and, of course, higher distance to climb for that rope and to jump over those boxes for the men. So now it's going to be male team versus male team. Unofficially, they have updated the score. It looks like it's going to be 10 for the Atlanta Wild and 13 for the Super Team. Atlanta Wild able to close that gap just a little bit more, which is amazing. The Super Team did throw that bonus flag, so it was very helpful for the Wild to be able to steal that. I'm sure they weren't expecting it, and I'm sure they thought they were safe in that, but the Atlanta Wild were luckily able to take it. Let's go ahead and go to my friend Byram Allen and Tom Soroka over there on the grid.
All right, folks, we're here with Tom, captain and leader of the Atlanta Wild. We tapped in with you yesterday. We want to talk to you again today. Listen, recovery. Hey, listen, it's a lot. The team are beat up. You were talking about your hands, but pregame. How are you thinking about your team's performance so far?
Honestly, this is pretty much the epitome of our team. We're a bunch of fighters. We're not to the end. Things have not gone our way on some of these races, but we're not stopping because we got a lot of fight left in us.
Now, I see some wins that you've gotten so far. Maybe some people counted you out because you're facing the Super Team. Talent for talent, I think you guys match up. What do you think?
I honestly think we're one of the better teams and more stacked teams in the entire league, especially on the strength side. I don't really think there's a team in the league that can keep up with us.
Now, how are you preparing to finish up strong? You got a few more races left.
We're pretty much we have a game plan. We're going to try to execute it just a step above what we were planning on doing, and then we're just going to hope that the chips fall in our favor with these last two races.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you much. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Sports vehicles to some degree as athletes, and it's about what kind of gas you put in the tank. Heart and Soul is definitely a game changer. I can't imagine going back after taking a supplement like this.
And we are back. We're getting ready for that male triad. That first one is going to be, of course, the dumbbell burpee clusters at 50 pounds, followed by 20 box jump overs at 30 inches, 6-inch pistol stick jump overs. That's going to be 6 repetitions of that, 4 repetitions of rope climbs to 15 feet. And finally, we're finishing off with some heavy cleans. It's going to be 15 at 185 pounds. Now, we just saw the ladies go against the ladies. We're going to see the gentlemen go against the gentlemen here. It's going to be a fight to the finish. It's still anybody's match here, right? This match, the stakes we're setting them. It's going to be 13 for the Super Team that are under the brigade right now, and it's 10 for the Wild. Of course, whoever wins this match will get 1 point added towards their point differential.
Yeah, as you just heard, folks, we just spoke to Tom, and they're confident. They're locked in. They're right there, 13 points to 10 points. So any win can put that team, the Atlanta Wild, ahead. So let's see how they perform here. These are points that they want to get, so let's lock in, folks.
Absolutely. We're seeing 3 people on the grid at a time. Looking at both of these teams, they're scary, man. They have people that can do everything. The Atlanta Wild, as Tom Soroka said earlier, have one of the stronger teams in the league. Of course, they were falling behind until they hit that ladder, and that was able to give them a little boost up. And it's just so fun to watch them play around with some of this stuff, such as the dumbbell burpee clusters and the cleans. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, just going to climb some ropes, jump over some boxes, throw some weights around, you know, just having a little fun out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Looking out onto the grid, we can see there's about 90 seconds until we start here. So we're looking at Blake Kidder from the Atlanta Wild, Patrick Long, David McKellar, Griffin Raleigh. Those are some big, scary dudes.
Absolutely. And I don't know about the viewers at home, but I'm always trying to take something off the grid to add to my own personal repertoire when I work out by myself. So all you folks at home, hey, feel free to try some of this stuff. You know, you want to start at A, don't jump all the way to Z, you know, but take your time, enjoy, and, you know, be motivated.
Yeah, look at this male side on the Super Team. Alex Velez, Ryan DeMatti, Eric Cardona, Julio Delgado, Taylor Sturgis, all of these strong men out here. Just, this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a fun one because the Wild probably is just a little bit bigger, but all of them are pretty equally matched. This is a bit more of a utility male triad. They could do the dumbbells, the rope climb, the box jump overs. Of course, you have to send people out that can do pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's like you said, Cassie. I'm looking at these two teams. I don't know who I have in this race. I'm just anxious to see how they take off. Really, out the gate is really what matters. Let's see if they can finish strong, though.
Yep, game faces on. If you're watching on YouTube Live right now, why don't we drop a comment? Who do you think is going to take this one? The Super Team or the Wild for the male triad? Sound off. We're starting off with 7 dumbbell burpee clusters at 50 pounds. All right, this is the Atlanta Wild versus that Super Team. It looks like we have 3 aces on this side over here, okay?
You hear them weights, Cassie? I'm sorry. You can just hear the boom, 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 boom. I love it.
Oh, yeah. My feet are rumbling down here. My feet barely touch the ground, and they're already shaking. We're here watching them. Pretty equally matched here. The Super Team just ahead. Eric Cardona doing 1 rep on every box before starting. I love that strategy.
Yeah.
People used to do that one all the time, and it's kind of been something that was thrown out.
Really?
But I love the way that the Lions keep true to that. Just doing 1 rep in every single thing to make sure that they get it over. Because Eric Cardona does have the hops, probably better than anyone in the league. Hand already up for him, and he was the last one to his actual box. So absolutely ridiculous. He's finishing up those box jump overs before they do the 6 pistol stick jump overs at 6 inches.
Yeah, the team are there right now. They're ahead a little bit there, the Super Team. As always, looking like a well-oiled machine right there. The Atlanta Wild are right there with them. Look like they're having a little trouble with the squats there. Let's see if they can clean it up and catch up to the Super Team.
Yes, they're definitely bigger guys over there on the Atlanta Wild, but they're finishing up that last rep, and they're going to start those rope climbs after this one by Tyler Billington. Oh, a little fault from Billington. Oh, man, this is a good lead that the Super Team has on the Atlanta Wild. They're going to have to make up some serious time on these rope climbs. Here comes Blake Kidder coming out to make up some of the slack. Here's Paul Moran, Julio Delgado, and Eric Cardona for the Super Team.
This is a compound movement type of element. I don't know if if you know how hard it is to do a rope climb with no gloves on your hands. It is excruciating, and not only that, you have to be conditioned to do it. So we're seeing these teams perform. I love what we're seeing out there. The Atlanta Wild have a little slow pace. They're going to have to pick it up a little bit to catch up.
Nice. I really liked Paul Moran on that rope climb, the way that he made sure that he touched the top before he dismounted. It looks like it wasn't obvious enough, so he wanted to make sure that he stayed up there and did that, went up just a little bit further to make sure that he hit that. So the Super Team hands up in the air for these cleans already. Atlanta Wild kind of confused on what the task is here, it looks like. And it looks like the Super Team only have 3 reps until they finish. No hands up in the air for the Wild yet. Pretty safe to say that the Super Team has taken this one. 2 reps remaining. Hands up in the air finally for the Wild. 1 minute remaining on that time cap, and the Super Team are going to take this male triad.
Easy money for the Super Team. Like I said, they look confident out there, out the gate. You want to come out the gate strong, which they did over those box jumps, and that 185 clean was easy for them too. So great match, great win. They're just stacking. Championship tight team, and it's good to watch. Fun to watch.
Definitely. The Wild are finishing up their last few reps here. They have over 40 seconds left in the time cap, so it's pretty safe to say that they'll finish and at least get that 1 point towards their differential, which is going to make it 4 now. There's a 4-point difference. I don't believe there is another, maybe there may be another bonus flag in play to make it even, but right now it looks like the Atlanta Wild do get that 1 point.
Yeah,
the scores will be tabulated unofficially. That's going to make it Atlanta Wild 11, Super Team 15.
That was tough for the Atlanta Wild. You can see them there at the finish line, bent over, doubled over. Listen, you feel that in your gut. That's all the way down to your toes and fingers. So shout out to them for finishing out, getting at least a point, and on to the next match.
Yes, hard one for both to finish. the super team able to pull it together just a little bit more, and maybe it just also comes down to just having more available people.
There you go.
When it comes to it.
Absolutely. But all these teams are missing players. You have the super team because several players are missing, especially down in the Florida area. And of course the Atlanta Wilds, where all these teams are just trying to pull it together and put on their best performance. So yeah, let's just celebrate them and enjoy them as they perform out here.
100%. Quick shout out to all our friends watching at home and all of those that couldn't make it. We are running understaffed from Hurricane Milton. We had people that couldn't fly out to be here. And shout out to some of the head coaches for picking up the slack too. We saw Coach Paul Bear earlier. We have Fico Gomez helping out with the equipment. We have player from the Palms, Cody Rice, helping out on the equipment. It's just amazing the community that we have here and how we rally together to do that.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back after this quick break.
The sprint relay is the final race of every match and is worth an extra point for the race win. It is a relay race with one player allowed on the grid at a time and 8 elements to perform. Any player can perform on any element, and substitutions can happen at any time, except when a player performs the last rep of an element. In that case, the player must run back to the start line, perform a 4-point touch behind the start line, and sprint through to the finish line, permanently leaving the race. The next player may enter once the previous one has crossed the finish line. The only exception is the distance element that ends at the finish line with no sprint back required. The catch is, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements. The sprint relay is a great balance of strategy to decide which players in what order are the best combination, along with clean and well-executed elements by the players, to lead to the best race outcome for the team. Remember, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements in the sprint relay.
My fiance comes from a family of cattle farmers, and we understand the importance of supporting local agriculture and also how much work and effort it takes to properly raise good quality meat. I choose Grassroots because when we look at the packages, we see that it's been produced here in the United States, that it's grass-fed and finished, and even just looking at the meat and the quality of the meat in the package, you can tell by that deep red color that it's been raised correctly on regeneratively farmed lands and that it's a good quality cut of meat.
All right, here we go. We're doing a thumb war tournament to see which Briley is cooler. Sponsored by JerkFit. Loser.
3, okay.
Round 2, fight.
It's grippy.
Yeah, it's sticky.
Final round, fight.
How long is it? 2, 3, got it. Winner takes all.
Shoot.
All right, there we go. It's the palm. That's right.
All right, folks, welcome back to day 2 of Grid League at the 60th Mr. Olympia. Let's go over the actual factuals of the sprint relay, our final race of this particular match. We have deck to pistol squats. We have 20 of those. We have 16 toes to bar. We also have 12 dumbbell thrusters at 40 pounds. 8 ring muscle ups. We have kettlebell overhead walking lunges with 2 53-pound kettlebells. We also have a 10 burpee jumps over a 24-inch box. We have 4 rope climbs, and we have clean and jerks at 275 pounds.
That's right, Byram, and of course, it's called the sprint relay because once you complete an element, you do have to run back to the start line, 4-point touch. That's 10 fingers and 10 toes if you have them. You're going to touch them at the start line, and then you're going to run to the finish line, unless it's, of course, a movement where you're going straight to the finish line, just like those overhead walking lunges.
Absolutely. So if you're viewing at home, it may look like a lot of organized chaos out there, which it is, but it's controlled. Everyone knows their duty. They know what to do. And be mindful, that 4-point touch along with the toes, right? If they miss it, the refs do not count. So let's see if they pay attention to detail out there.
That's right, Byram. We're here at the sprint relay. Still anybody's game. the Atlanta Wild versus that super team of 3 teams, Orlando Aces, the Lions, and the Brigade. This is Vilma Rosario for the Atlanta Wild. I believe she faulted out. She's a little bit confused about why. Alex Velez in that first quadrant as well. Once again, we saw this earlier in the match. They're staying close to the start line because they need to make sure that they're close to the start line in case they need to tag somebody in. But not only that, they have the 4-point touch and sprint to the finish line. So better to just stay as close as you can to that start line.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting out strong. Both teams are starting out strong. You see them switching out. You can't substitute at any time. So, hey, listen, they're starting out good. Let's see if they can finish strong.
That's right. It's Megan Medeiros coming out for the super team and Carrie Billington coming out for the Wild. There's 3 whole entire reps remaining for the Wild, but Megan Medeiros is out of there. Here we have, that's Janine Nicole for the Orlando Aces, of course, competing for the super team, those 16 toe-to bars. Carrie Billington's out for the Atlanta Wild. Here comes Jimmy McBride, I believe. She's that one team sign that they just found here in Vegas. Janine Nicole already done with those toe-to bar, and she is out of here. Jimmy McBride has never competed in a grid match before this, so this is extremely impressive that she's able to handle this kind of volume throughout the whole entire match. Here's Jasmine Simpson that plays for the Aces here for the super team. Very clean movement from her, making sure that she keeps those dumbbells over her shoulder.
Listen, the super team have a great game plan. I can tell how the transitions are. The substitutions are seamless, as we can see. And you can see the team, the Atlanta Wild, are trying to keep up the pace. But that super team, they're looking great out there on the grid.
That's right. Sydney Wilson also looking very strong on those dumbbell thrusters at 40 pounds in each hand. Here comes Paula Leyes for those 8-ring muscle-ups. Of course, one of the better gymnastics specialists in the league. Sydney Wilson sprinting out of there as quickly as she can. And that's going to lead RJ Hibbard out here, also very skilled on the rings. Paula Leyes almost done with her reps. She's going to 4-point touch and sprint to the finish. RJ Hibbard, very tall guy, very good at these ring movements as well. Here comes for the overhead lunges, that's Taylor Sturgis. Just take a look at those elbows if we could take it to that split screen. Oh yeah,
wow.
That is not
You see that lockout? Do you see that lockout? And that's 53 pounds, Cassie.
That's I'm sorry, that's probably the neatest lockout that we've seen for this movement all day.
Hey, listen, people don't like lunges with the lighter kettlebell, so he's doing that at 53 pounds. Hey, that's a grid league special right there.
Oh, it sure is. Here comes David McKellar, also looking pretty strong in that. We were touching on his mobility and his quickness earlier. David McKellar is proving to be a very important key player for the Wild this season. Here's Paul Moran. He got faulted on that last one. His chest didn't touch all the way to the ground for that last one, but still a very good lead for the super team. Paul Moran is really quick on all these hops.
Yeah, your chest has to touch the ground. You can't just plank. You know, it's full lockout, full range, and you have to do the 4-point touch. He almost had a little brain fart right there, but he remembered and got that.
There we go. Here comes Amanda Fisher out for the Wild, going very fast. Amanda Fisher, always with the colorful hair. That's how I identify her. Always fun to watch her colorful blue, pink, or green braids doing stuff out here. Here's Eric Cardona for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, of course, playing for the super team. Few reps remaining on this rope climb. Just look at that speed. There's a reason that they call him Superman.
You see how he slid down? Spider-Man. I was about to say how he slid down like that, right?
Yeah.
Nice technique.
He's very good at these. No matter what gender you are, competing in the sprint relay, you're going to be doing the same thing. Ooh, a little red burn there from Cardona on his hands.
Yeah.
He's going to do that 4-point touch, and he's going to sprint out of there. His team is going to catch him at the end. Patrick Long, 2 reps remaining on this rope climb. They're starting to close the gap a little bit on the difference, but here comes Ryan DeMatti, the last person that you want to see at the end of a sprint relay. 2 clean and jerks at 275 pounds. Of course, Ryan DeMatti is going to get that up, no problem. Not only can he throw it up in the air real fast, he's going to 4-point touch, and he's going to sprint real fast, but take it a little bit easy because, you know, he got all the time in the world. The super team are going to take it. Here comes Tom Soroka to finish it off for the Atlanta Wild. Not too far behind, plenty of time. 50 seconds on the clock. He just has to go all the way back. 4-point touch. And he's going to run all the way to the end. Get that credit for the Atlanta Wild.
Hustle, big man. Hustle. Get there. Get there. Get there. Yes. Nice.
Remember, friends, when we set the stakes for this, we knew the Atlanta Wild are pretty safe to go into the playoffs. This matchup between the Super Team and the Wild is only worth 1 point towards the differential. So that means the Tampa Bay Brigade, the Orlando Aces, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions will all be receiving 1 credit towards that point differential. And of course, the Wild are unofficially sitting at 44 in that. So great showing from both of those teams. Amazing showing from the Super Team. This is the last time they'll see them this weekend. They did win both of their matches.
Yes.
They proved that they're able to work together. A team of veterans, a team of rookies. Great leadership in Stallings and Gold there. Great leadership, of course, from Dan Jackson for the Wild. Of course, we'll see them again in Fort Lauderdale for the playoffs to see who goes to the championship, who wins that $20,000 check at the end of the season.
Yes, I like it, Cassie, and I was just thinking along the same lines. We're slowly starting to see the playoff picture shape up. Again, like you mentioned, we may not see the Super Team again, but with the Atlanta Wild, the Palms, and the Sharks, strong teams, strong performances right here in the morning, and let's see how everything stack up at the end of the season.
That's right. We have at 3 o'clock the Daytona Beach Venom versus the Palm Beach Breakers, and that one is going to be worth double the points. That's at 3 o'clock PST or 6 o'clock Eastern time, so make sure you tune in for that one. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, like it if you like it, comment and talk to us while you're on there, and we'll see you at 3 o'clock. I'm Cassie Martinez.
I'm Byram Allen.
Stay hungry, Grid League.